All right. Hey guys, it says here that we're live, so hopefully we are. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. I've got another live one for you. This is the second one that we're doing, and I've got something special. So today we're going to be introducing and interviewing Neil from Merch Informer. And Neil, why don't you go ahead, say hello to everyone, and introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Neil. I run Merch Informer, and I'm pretty prominent in the Facebook groups. You probably see me hanging out there. For the last year and a half, I've been building merch accounts and trying to create Merch Informer to be pretty much like a toolbox full of tools to help everyone sell better.
Cool. So let's just dive into the questions here. So how did you start with Merch by Amazon? How did you get into it?
Wow, Merch by Amazon launched about a year and a half ago now, I think.
Yeah.
My business partner sent me basically an article that he saw on TechCrunch, I believe is where it was, and he was like, "Hey, check this out." And at the time, I was doing FBA, which I still do a little bit of, but it's like a huge pain dealing with China and everything and inventory. And I was like, well, if I can have a page up on Amazon that sells products without the need to deal with customers or China or inventory, then I can definitely make a lot of money. So I jumped on it and I've been doing it ever since.
That was my exact same thinking when I found Merch by Amazon, because I was doing FBA, both in Canada and in the US. And you have to package your stuff or pay people to package your stuff and work to get the products and all that, the whole logistics of that. And then I saw this, and I'm like, you can pay someone to do your designs, or you can create them yourself. There's no monthly subscription, and there's like literally 4 something clicks to get your t-shirt up. And I was like, this is way easier than FBA. I think I want to do this more.
Well, back when I started, we had to do, I mean, you're probably familiar with getting the reviews. I mean, you had to give away
Oh
some
yeah.
free product.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was always such a pain, and I just hated dealing with doing all that, making sure they actually left a review and following up. And I'm like, I don't have to do any of that, and Amazon's going to pay me a royalty. Like, I'm game. Let's do it.
Yeah. How many private label products did you do?
Not very many. Only a few, maybe like 3 or 4. But I mean, I
Yeah.
still have inventory. I'm still selling a little bit, but it's not really a main focus at all.
Cool. So, the people want to know here. So, if you don't mind me asking, how much are you guys making on Merch by Amazon?
Well, we're doing consistently over 5 figures. I don't want to give like a specific amount, but I kind of have an account that I personally have my hands in, and then I kind of have a bunch of other partners where I have a stake in that business as well.
Cool. Cool. That is really awesome. That is, and what do you like? How do you think you got to that point? What is the main contributing factor?
Uh, Consistency, I would say probably. I mean, all you really need is you need, the proper keywords and you need good designs. Like if you don't have good designs, you're not going to do too well. But I mean, once you understand that if you have decent keywords and you can put it in a niche where people are actually looking at that niche and you can sell say one shirt a month. If you can sell one shirt a month, you can sell thousands of them because you just do the same process over and over and over and over again until you're making the desired outcome, which is kind of the
I
entire
agree with you.
yeah the entire process I've used for. I mean, my background's in affiliate marketing, so building large websites is just it's the same thing but with designs.
Cool. So yeah, I agree with you with the consistency thing, because you need to definitely, whether like in the beginning we weren't making sales at all for the first like 2 months, but we were consistently coming up with better and better designs. Like our first designs, I would say sucked because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
But over time, we started to get better, tweak the titles, tweak the keywords. Our the other business partner that we have, Maria, she had no prior experience with titling or SEO. She didn't know what SEO was, but I actually gave her your blog post, talking about
Okay.
the cat black cat ears.
Yep.
Do
Yeah,
you
I
know
wrote
what?
that a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I read that and I loved how detailed it was and how you went from basic to intermediate by the end of it. And I said, Maria, read this and you'll be able to title our t-shirts. And she read it and she understood it and she had zero experience with anything. This was her first business venture. So
Awesome.
yeah, so
Well, the
thank
thing,
you so much for that.
no problem. I mean, the thing people I don't think completely realize about that post in particular is that I talk about niching down like the titles, but
Mm-hmm.
the goal isn't to rank for like the super niche down title. I mean, it definitely helps because there's going to be a lot less competition, but it's basically a way to get like as many keywords as you can into the title without looking
Mm-hmm.
spammy. So you might rank for, black cat t-shirt instead of the longer variable of it. So
Mm-hmm.
in the end, if you do it that way, in the end, you'll actually end up ranking for a lot more keywords than just the one niche down keyword.
Yeah, and I think that has helped us with the sales because we're just getting into using your software now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But basically, we've been using your method of titling and keywording and description and all that based off of ideas that come from our heads and what we see, like not much research at all. And we've been able to do 5 to 10 sales a day just based off of that. And I think I attribute it to your blog post and the way you taught us how
Appreciate
to
it.
title and do keywords and stuff.
How many? I think I asked you this on Facebook. But how many products do you have up?
Uh, we have about 150
Okay.
150
Okay.
shirts, average 5 to 10 sales a day. We're really happy with that. Now we're like, okay, you know what? We've done the process where we just think of stuff and then we put them on. Now we want to be a little more strategic. So we're getting into using your software more and researching the ideas, like typing in stuff, seeing what sells, and then go and create the t-shirts. Before it would be the other way around. We would
Okay.
just like think of stuff, get them created, and then go into Merch Informer and then try and find the keywords and stuff. But we're doing it. We're trying something different. We're doing a little experiment right now.
See, and like when I started, I'm really not the most creative person in the world. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thought process was if I can find something that's already selling, then I can do a better job than they can. But in reality, I'm not a very good designer either, so I just outsource it to someone who does a better job. And then I know that that specific niche has demand rather than trying to think of specifically what people are interested in. I already know that they're interested in, X, Y, and Z, and I just need to go out and create better products.
So you've never created a t-shirt at all.
No, I when I first started the account, I created I think the first 100 T-shirts by myself.
Mm.
I had Photoshop, didn't really know how to use it too well, so
Mm-hmm.
YouTube tutorials definitely helped out there, just enough to be able to create something that someone
To
would
get
buy.
by.
Yeah,
Cool. So
seemed to work.
someone who's brand new just got approved, what would be your advice to them?
Fill up your slots as fast as possible. Like I know you're gonna have probably two a day limit, but make sure you're uploading every single day and pay attention to keywords and pricing. I think that's the biggest thing. People don't want to play around with their pricing, and I never understand why. Because I mean, if the market has an average of about 15.99, and you're just dead
Mm-hmm.
set, if you're dead set on pricing at 19.99, I mean, you might come up with the argument that you're considered like the premium option, but you're not going to sell nearly as well as if you priced to what the market sets you to. So when I first started, I priced pretty cheaply. I priced it like 14.99. That's before they switched the royalty fees a little bit. So I was making decent money
Mm-hmm.
there, but the longer I kept my products lower, the more sales I got and the more reviews I got. And once you get reviews, you can price it basically whatever you want because people will they first shop with their eyes. They're going to see the design. They're going to be like, I like that. And then the reviews are basically like social proof. So if you have a review, you're set. You're going to continue selling.
Okay, so you're saying that you did some research to see what the other shirts were selling at, and you started off pricing low.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I generally price not super low, but to what the market demands. So if the average is around 15.99, I'll probably price around there.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I think it's that's a common question for people is what should they price at, and how does it determine the price? But that is a good advice is see what the other shirts are selling for and do like an average and then go around there.
Yeah, and people definitely should play around with it. I mean, just because you have one price doesn't mean you need to stick there forever. Just,
Mhm.
maybe start low, maybe start high, and then, meet somewhere in the middle. Just play around with it and see what gets you and that particular design the most sales.
Awesome. Okay, so we got a couple of questions here on the live chat. So this question is from Jacob Topping,
Hey,
and they're
Jacob.
asking you any plans for Merchant Farmer to go multi POD or multi POD twin site?
Currently, no, because I mean, I was looking at this the other day actually. Walmart gets around 300 million visitors a month, which sounds like a lot. But then if you look at Amazon, they get in the U.S. they get 2 billion visitors a month. So I mean, Walmart's a huge corporation, and they're not even getting half the traffic that Amazon is. So
Mhm.
currently, we're focused on basically where all the traffic is and where the majority of your sales are probably going to come from.
Okay.
I'm not going to write it off. So
But right now,
perhaps,
as of right
yeah,
now,
as of right now, no plans.
okay. And then these were the pre-questions that were from Monday's video. So they were asking, do you do paid advertising? And if so, how much are you spending and what platforms are you promoting on?
For merch, I would say the majority of the money we make on merch is organic. We did start off a year and a half ago doing this, so we've definitely had a head start. I am playing around with advertising. I just put out a blog post about Facebook advertising. We're doing some tests there, tests back and forth. There's also
Mm-hmm.
the new thing that came out that people are putting guides out on is called Amazon Marketing Services, AMS. It's completely free. Uh, that's something I'm looking into. I haven't really given that much in-depth look at it though. But other than that, basically just Facebook, and then I plan to look into the Amazon Marketing Services. But we mainly rely on organic traffic.
Yeah, I think that's what we do as well right now. We did try that FameBit strategy. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yep.
But yeah, and I'll be doing as you asked me for that blog post. I'll be writing about that more in depth. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that we've done, other than like here and there posting in Facebook groups, the free groups.
Right. Well,
But
I think a big thing that people also kind of just put by the wayside is social marketing. I mean, we're all on the Facebook groups. Pinterest is a huge one.
mhm,
Their demographic is mostly women with money. They like to
yeah,
spend it. So it's the perfect demographic for merch. So I've been building up some larger Pinterest accounts because I'm used to building accounts, for my affiliate business. And
mhm,
they once you get some traffic going with Pinterest, it doesn't stop because people will repin your images over and over and over again. You don't have to put in any extra work. So if you can get Pinterest going or some other kind of social platform, I think people should market their shirts. It'll definitely lead to more sales, which leads to a better BSR rank, which leads to you actually ranking in the results and
yeah,
beating
definitely.
yeah beating beating the competitors.
Cool. All right, we got another question here from Jacob again. He says, on new markets, parentheses, less competition, what do you price as a market maker?
I usually price similar to what I do on Amazon. I'm not completely sure what he's asking there. I'm actually looking up in the corner here because that's where my chat window is.
Oh, can you see the questions too?
Yeah, well, the questions are on another monitor. I'm using my girlfriend's
Oh,
computer since
okay.
I don't have a webcam on mine.
Okay, so maybe yeah, Jacob, are you asking like if there's no competition? Like if you're just making a new one, what would you price it at? That's what I thought the question was. Like if you made a new design that there wasn't any other people, what
I mean,
would you price it
if there's not very much competition, then
at? Yeah.
I feel like you can price near the top of the price range because if there's little competition, the main thing you're going to be competing on is the actual design. So as long as you make
Hmm.
sure your design is, way better than the 10 to 20 other people you're competing with, then you should be able to charge, the full price that you normally would.
What's the highest price you've priced a t-shirt at?
19.99. Haven't really gone above that.
Same, that's the same with us. And do you create like brand new shirts without any competition at all?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, not any competition. I want to see that there's at least a few shirts selling. Because I
Hmm.
mean, otherwise, I mean, I'm paying for designs. I mean, they're quite cheap, but they look nice. So I'm paying for the design. If I'm paying for the design, the goal is to at least break even on that design and
Hmm.
hopefully sell 1 to 2 a week. It's kind of the end
Okay.
goal.
Cool. We got another question here from Nathaniel Chadwick. He said, "What are your sales uh, using the premium T-shirts versus the regular Anvil tees? Do you use the premium ones, or are you just doing Anvil?"
I don't use the premium ones. I know that the Anvil shirts, in my opinion, from like the 2 or 3 I've ordered, are quite cheap. They kind of fit me, boxy, I have wide shoulders, but
Hmm.
they make me the most money. So I value return on investment pretty much over everything else. And people continue to buy them and leave good reviews even though I don't like them. I keep reminding myself that I'm not the target audience. So I don't use them.
Hmm.
I just do the Anvil ones.
Yeah, that what you just said there, that you're not the target audience. When we make the designs, whether we like it or not, we don't know who's gonna buy what. And I learned that like in the very beginning when I was doing like Amazon and eBay and Craigslist, that you can't always think about what you like because people will buy any design, like people will buy anything. And I
They
think
really
that
will. They
people,
really will.
yeah, they get stuck in their head thinking that is a gross design. I would never buy that, or I'm not going to put that up. But honestly, there have been designs where I'm like, so I don't even like I would never buy that, but people buy them. So don't get in your head like that.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we got another one. Oh, Jacob did a clarification. He means when you have a design that has no competition, yeah, basically what I was saying. So when you don't have a competition, what do
Yeah, I
you price
usually
it
don't
at?
do that. I like to see at least, 1 or 2 other designs that actually have sales. Otherwise,
Cool.
I'll just skip it and move on.
Okay. And like, how long does it take you to find some? Let's say you want to do, you're starting from scratch, and you need 10 ideas to give to your designer. How long does that usually take you to come up with? Average.
Uh, Average, I don't know, pretty quick. I'd say less than 30 minutes. Easily less than 30 minutes.
To come up with 10 ideas
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
find
I mean,
it's hard for people.
well, yeah, at the very beginning, I mean, I was doing this all manually, right? So I was sitting on Amazon just typing in, bird t-shirt, mermaid t-shirt, and then and then I would go, see, I'm pretty analytical, so I'd go through every single design on the first like few pages because Amazon doesn't always rank the designs by, bestsellers number one, second bestsellers number two. So I'd go through like the first couple pages, which each have 20 designs on them, and it would just take me
Hmm.
hours and hours and hours. And I have other businesses I need to attend to, so it's just taking up a ton of time. So I just started. Well, I mean that's kind of why we created Merch Informer. But now it's fairly quick. I mean, I just come up with some ideas, like as we were talking about earlier. Just off the top of my head, I'll start maybe like cat T-shirt. Type that in. I'll look at specifically what's selling, and I'll look at their keywords that they've included in the description. So, maybe like as in the blog post example, maybe one of the keywords in the description is black cat T-shirt. So then I'll take that,
Yeah.
I'll take that and I'll do a search for it and pull up the best sellers there and keep on niching down until I found something that's around, I don't know, 100 to 300,000 BSR is selling probably one a day to, 2 a week, something like that. And then once I have that, I'll send it off to the designer.
Yeah, I liked I can't remember which blog post you mentioned this, but the strategy was you'd rather have 1,000 shirts selling 1 to 2 a month than to try and go after like the really high competition ones.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like,
Yeah.
for example, like the Donald Trump shirts that everyone's been doing, everyone has
Yeah,
been doing.
yeah,
You're
the
competing
political
against thousands of other people, and if you're lucky and you get in early, you might sell a bunch of shirts. But maybe you sell 10 of that design, and you're like, wow, I jumped on that trend. It was really great.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you have a shirt that isn't very successful and sells one a month, like if you have 1,000 designs selling one a month, you're still selling 1,000 shirts a month. Like that's good money.
That is a cool way of looking at it, because I think a lot of people, and we were guilty of this too, like we tried to get in the political shirts game, but there was such heavy competition, and it was just we just stepped back and we were like, okay, we'd rather go for the ones that with less competition, but they have less sales, but no one's going after them. So we'd rather do those ones. So what you wrote about is basically what we're doing right now.
Well, if you have like a bunch of slots, like if you have open slots with no limit as to what you can upload per day, or no limit that's really constraining you, then I would definitely say go for the political shirts as well. Because like I have a friend who he got super lucky. He put up one shirt and he made like 12 grand off that shirt in 1 month. So like there's definitely money if you get lucky that you can make some
Yeah,
very good money. But he's one guy out of I don't know how many people are in merch by Amazon, but
a lot
yeah,
probably.
I would guess at least 50,000.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. More people finding out about how much easier it is than FBA.
And they're finally starting to accept people like quicker. No more of this 6 month plus wait time.
I know. I had a 2 month wait time. What about you?
Okay. No, I applied back when it was instant approval.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I was quick. I was quick on the gun. But then that went away like a month later, and then
That's yeah, they realized quickly we need to control this.
they did. Well, I mean, they released it for app developers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
don't
remember
I don't
seeing
know why they
the
thought that would be big, but it's yeah, I don't know.
Amazon's interesting. They always change it up.
They do.
All right, we got some more questions here from Next Level Now. Do you primarily design services? Do you use like design services like Design Pickle or Brand Strong, or more VAs?
So I don't know what Brand Strong is, but I've heard of Design Pickle. I
Mm-hmm.
I personally think they're too expensive. So I have VAs that work for me. Um,
VAs that you found on like Upwork or something?
yeah, I found them all on Upwork. I mean, people, when I tell them I pay $4 a design, right? Which is incredibly
Mm-hmm.
cheap. And people are always like, oh, you get what you pay for. Well, sort of. I mean, my
Depends, I
designers are
guess.
mostly out of the Philippines. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't give them one or two designs. Once you find a guy you like and you have the spots available, I'm giving this guy like hundreds of designs. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
really good money if you're not from the US. Like certain parts of the country, that's good money.
Oh
So
yeah, I can vouch for that. I'm Filipino, and because people always,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
okay, because people always um they get like shocked at the prices. We pay $3 per design. We
nice.
have two
Doing better than me.
designers. We have two designers, one from the Philippines and one from Malaysia.
Okay,
And so for like and a lot of them come from the Philippines, and a lot of people, like even our other business partner who had never done business before, she's like, are you sure we should be paying them $3? Like, are we like ripping them off, or are we being mean? Like, is this like fair? And I'm Filipino and I have relatives in the Philippines, and that is a lot of money for them, because a lot of times you can't even get jobs that will pay you that amount. And like I was even saying to my mom, oh yeah, we have this designer and we pay him $3 American per design, and we have him do like a bunch of designs. It's not just like one $3 design and then that's it. Like we give him consistent work,
Right.
and
And they're
he's
always super happy to get it.
oh yeah, they're so grateful, and they get to work from home and be with their families and stuff. And yeah, so if anyone's wondering if this is like cruel or something, it's not. $3 American is a lot of pesos. And I'll just give you an example. My mom pays for some of my cousins to go to school, and it costs $25 American to put them a month to put them into university for
What?
nursing. Yeah, so my mom helps out my family, like her siblings' kids, my cousins. So that just goes to
Wow.
show like that it's harder there, and you can't really pay for stuff like food and clothes and luxuries that we have. So the designers from the Philippines, when they get paid, they have a good job in the Philippines. So you're helping someone, like you're helping a family when you hire uh, someone from the Philippines. You really help them out.
And I mean, it's even better for us though. I mean, like $3 or $4 a design, it is really hard to lose on Amazon when you put up a
Yeah,
design for three. Like you need one sale, and you made your money back.
yeah,
Just single sale. So I mean, if you can make one sale over the span of the lifetime of merch, you're in the green. So it's like you really can't lose.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, those people who are wondering about Upwork designers and the price and stuff. And like, yeah, there's some hit and miss. Like, they might not make the design the greatest at first, but with revisions and over time when they get to know you and your style, it gets better and better. And
Well, you said you did an interview over Skype, right, with your designers, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah, my business partner, she did the interviews, like 15-minute interviews,
Okay. Yeah.
to make sure that they could speak English, because we
So
really,
the way I did it, you know how you can ask like a few questions at the end? Like if you
yeah.
apply, answer these questions. I always ask, what's the 32nd president of the United States? Or,
You were
you know,
asking those
yeah,
questions.
yeah, like what's your favorite hobby, right? Something where, so I ask them something really dumb like that. But one, the first question always makes them, go research it. So I know you can actually look something up properly.
Oh, okay.
And the second one, like, what do you like to do in your free time when you're not working? They usually respond in sentence form, where I can see if they actually speak coherent English, so I know if I can communicate with them or not.
Yeah, yeah. And like, did you have problems communicating in the beginning, like trying to get your ideas across?
No. Normally, I hired a bunch of designers right away for like, two designs each. And then the ones I didn't like or I thought were trash, I just said, okay, thank you for your time, but no thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just send them like a design or an idea that I liked, right? And I would say, okay, you're an artist. I'm not. Be creative. Come up with your own like version of this niche. And then they would come back with something, and I would look at it and I'd say I either like it or I don't.
So you give them full creative control, like you just give them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as long as it's like if I find a shirt with a certain saying on it, of course I want that saying. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I give them the control. I mean, the guys I have now, I've been working with for over a year, so we work pretty well together. But I mean, I'm not very creative, and they are. So
Yeah,
if it comes back and I'm like, well, this is terrible, I ask them to redo it. But normally, it's good. It's good. But it takes a while to find, those people that'll work with you.
yeah, yeah. I agree. So have you tried Fiverr designers before, or just Upwork? Is a
Just Upwork.
question.
Fiverr, I used like 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing with Fiverr is everyone is really trying to just make a buck. And I
Mm-hmm.
like on Upwork how everyone, has to compete with everyone else. So they're always going to try to give you the best because they know that if they don't, you'll just go somewhere else. But I've heard nothing but bad things about people using Fiverr designers, so would not recommend. Plus, I'm getting them cheaper, right? I don't have to pay $5. I pay 4. You pay 3.
Yeah. I mean, you just stated up front, and they were cool with the three. Like, they were super happy. They're the most gracious people. and they thank you profusely all the time when you give them designs and stuff. So
Well, I mean, some of the designs I have up are just, text based. I mean, they're
yeah,
fancy text, but I mean, I don't know how to do that in Photoshop, and I'm still paying them $4, so it doesn't take them very long to make pretty good money.
yeah, yeah, I agree. All right, another question. We're getting a bunch of questions here. Nathaniel says, what do you feel sells better, shirts with graphics or text designs only?
Both. They, I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, they all sell. Text sells, graphics sell, and then a combination of them sell. I usually sell a combination. So they usually have a little bit of graphics, a little bit of text, just something to catch their eye.
have you gone into your designs and like done some, I guess, data research on it and be like, oh, these are all graphic shirts, these sold way more, or text? Do you go into your designs and
Not really.
look
I
into
mean,
them?
I have very few just graphic shirts, right? Because I base mine around the competition, and if someone's got, a picture of a forest, I don't want to ask my designer to make his own picture of a forest because, I mean, why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So it's mostly I would say it's mostly just text and text with graphics, not mainly not just graphics.
So if they have a picture of a forest, you tell them to do something completely different, or what would you say to them?
Well, it depends. If I'm looking at the design of the forest on Amazon already that's
Yeah.
selling well, I'll look
Mm-hmm.
at their keywords and then I'll basically relay the keywords, that I think are actually getting that shirt sales to the designer, and then have him do a rendition of whatever that may be, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay. Cool. All right, and then another question from S. Win. Uh, they're saying another price question. What's a good price range for text only and text with a simple design? He or she thinks that over their designer is overcharging. So you said you pay $4
Yeah.
for your shirts. I pay $3, whether it's a graphic or not. Like whatever the design is.
Right,
Uh,
I'm paying for across the board.
yeah,
But
yeah. So it's not
I
based
I, f-
on.
I feel like you're the first person I've talked to that's actually paying less than I am. I feel like most people are paying way more. Like I know someone mentioned Design Pickle. I know that's quite pricey.
Yeah, I think it's
But
like 200 or 300 a month or something like
yeah, and a
that.
lot of the
US.
services out there, are like, pay $10 or pay $10 a month and then you get, the option to buy certain designs. And I feel like it's cookie cutter, right? So you know you're gonna get sort of decent designs. But if you're willing to take, the few hours it might take to actually interview someone over Skype or send them a
Hmm.
few questions, then Upwork is easily the way to go. It's like once you find
Yeah, I mean,
someone, they'll stick with you.
they will, and they'll be loyal to you. It was definitely. I mean, it is a process for sure because we had to create the ad, and then there was so many people who applied, and then we did the like 8 or so interviews in one day. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but is it worth it? Yeah, it is, because now we can just fire off the designs and they just create them, on a weekly basis for us. So it's worth it to find a designer to work with you for the long haul,
Absolutely.
for sure. All right, so let's I think the questions have stopped a bit for now. So, oh, there's one more. My little tech person is she's says there's one more. Okay, hold on one second. And then after this question, we'll get into your software merchant former.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, here. Okay. They said solid designs but weak sales. Please provide some keywords, brand name, and title advice. This is the only logical explanation for slow sales, right? So,
Depends. Some people have excellent designs that are very artsy. Okay, so that might actually do better on like Redbubble. You don't have to have, I mean, you might think you have great designs, but they might not be great designs that sell well on Amazon. Because you could have, the best art ever, but that's just, it's not very novelty. That's why I always tell people to look at the competition, look at their keywords. Uh, for brand name, you can either put, a keyword into your brand name, and we've done a little bit of testing that actually seems to help quite a lot. But if you're trying to create a coherent brand, then just go with the normal brand. For title and bullet points, you want your main keyword in the title and your bullet points, but you also want to, put variations of that keyword and try to like niche down and put them in sentence form, especially for the bullet points. And it's something you need to play with. So like if you change your bullet points, you change your title, and you have it up for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're not selling, go back in and change them. But look at what's selling in that niche and try to like don't just copy and paste, but right, look at what they're using, how they're using them, and then try to mimic that.
Yeah, I agree. It really depends. And Win, read the blog post that Neil wrote about doing the titles and the keywords and that whole thing, because that really broke it down for us. And we gave that blog post to our other business partner who had no idea what SEO was, didn't know how to do it, and she read the blog post, and now she's super fast and really good at it now. So I highly suggest that you read that blog post because it goes into a lot of detail, and that's basically what we followed. Like there's no rocket science happening here. We read that blog post, and then that's how we now title and do our brand names and then the bullet points. Do you, for your brand names, do you change it up every time so that people don't see all your shirts?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started off. So every single shirt I have on merch, which is like over 1,200 now, has a different brand name. I sort of include like the main niche in the brand name somehow. But
Mm-hmm.
then I'm also doing the Shopify integration, and that's all under one brand for the most part. For the
Mm-hmm.
most part. But if anyone wants to look up that article you just mentioned, if you just Google merch SEO, then it should be number one.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into Merch Informer. What is it, and how does it help people make sales on Merch by Amazon?
Okay, so Merch Informer is the software that my partner and I created to essentially take my entire research and optimization process and basically automate it as much as possible. Because when I started out, I mean, I still do. I have other online businesses that I run, and it was just taking hours out of my day to do the research, find the keywords. So basically, we sold one of the businesses that we had and took that money and invested it in creating Merch Informer, which saves people just hours and hours and hours of time. And it's going to help you, optimize your listings, keep your account safe. We have trademark monitoring, find a bunch of keywords. We have a keyword tool, so on and so forth.
And how long did it take you to create Merch Informer?
Well, it was sort of a tool behind the scenes that me and my business partner used, like very, very rough. It wasn't like anything special. And then once we sold the account, or rather business, once we sold the business, I don't know, a few months after that. I mean, it took us. We're still in beta, so I mean, we're still adding features. I think someone asked what another feature is. Right now, we're working on like a keyword BSR tracker, sort of like if you were to track keywords on a website or on Amazon to see what positioning that your
Mm-hmm.
product is. So that's what we're working on right now. And one other thing that we're not really ready to talk about yet. But yeah, it took us a long time and we're still not completely done. But I would say in a month or two, we'll finally come out of beta.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely a really cool software. It makes it, I mean, because our strategy was to just think of ideas and like look on Instagram and stuff, but we're coming to a point that we need to become more strategic because we obviously want more sales, and
We always want
we
more.
know that if yeah, like we know that we need to do the research, obviously, because the research is gonna, if we find a shirt that sells well, 1 to 2, a month, or like in the range that there's not high competition, we want to go after those ones and have more of those types of shirts so that it's more of a consistent sales basis. So how now, correct me if I'm wrong, like, so I go into Merch Informer. I've been using the keyword finder,
Okay.
and I've been typing in like a general like word, like yesterday I did trains.
Okay.
And then so it pulled up like a bunch of stuff, and then I saw some sayings, like train sayings, and then it says there's a you get it gives you a grade. So the grade A means that it's good to go after, and then it had a
Well,
monthly sales of like 2 to 4 or something.
yeah, I can explain that. So the keyword finder is actually based on Amazon autocomplete.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ways that we like to use it is you have to enter in like a seed keyword, right? So the seed keyword, you want it to be something that can be filled in by a lot of different endings. So
Okay.
if you were to type in, say, I love, right, and hit enter, it's going to bring back all the different autocomplete keywords in whatever category you picked. We have a bunch of Amazon shirts. We also have a bunch of other ones. So it might say, I love trains, I love books, I love basketball, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, why that is so powerful is that Amazon as a company is like a big data company, and they want to make more sales themselves. So they're only going to recommend search terms that are, profitable for them, that are already making sales that people are already searching for. And that's like the whole point, is to make designs in niches where people are already looking for them so you can be found.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do we pull all of those and you can find a bunch of niches, I just did a YouTube video about how you can go through, like if you type in I love, right? You can go
Yeah.
through and say, oh, okay, books, cats, yada, 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 take them all and put them into a list and then bring those over and search for products. But we also did an update to the keyword tool a week or two ago, where we're going to show you the estimated number of sales that if you were ranked, you could expect per month. Um, the scoring, the A, B, C, that's going to tell you if you were to create a shirt with that, you know, title as the keyword as your title, how easy that would be to rank. So A is like super easy. We're going to give you uh, what I say. I said estimated sales, the rank.
Yeah.
We're also going to show if that specific keyword is trademarked, so you don't get in
Right.
trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And then
like
at the
that. I like that
Yeah, and
feature.
then at the bottom, we're going to show you like a Google Trends graph, right? Because you might find a keyword you're like, oh, that's really great, but it might be seasonal. So you might put it up and see no sales and wonder, oh, was that keyword terrible? No, it might just be out of season. And the example I gave
Okay.
was like morel mushrooms. People only pick those mushrooms, every few months, every year. So you want to make sure
Okay.
that's, seasonal or not. And then from there, people are like, okay, I found a great keyword. Let's make a shirt. I definitely recommend people taking the great keywords they found and plugging them into the product search to make sure there's actually, more than one shirt selling. Because if there's more than one shirt selling, there's actual demand within that niche.
Okay. Cool. So I want to break it down for people so that they can understand how this tool can help them. So let's go off of what you just said. You said, would you recommend that people start off with the keyword finder once they're logged into Merch Informer, to going to that tab?
Uh, they can. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can either start there if you're like, I have no idea what niche I even want to search for, right? I would
Mm-hmm.
go and I would type something like I am or I love, something like that, something super open-ended, and hit
Yeah.
search. And then it'll bring back, I love trains, I love books, I love dogs, and then you can just take trains, books, dogs, write all of those down. And then you have a list of like hundreds of different niches that you're like, oh, those might be interesting. They might have sales, they might not. So then you would take trains, for example.
Yeah.
So you saw I love trains, you wrote trains down. You could take trains, put it into the product search, right? Which is going to search the top 100 bestsellers related to trains.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you would look at how many is their demand, right? Is the BSR within a certain range you're looking for? How are the sales? If they're good, you're going to look at the product description and you're going to look for different keywords related to trains. and then you're going to take those keywords and plug them back in. So you're basically niching down the process from something super broad to something a little less broad to find, your niche where you can create a shirt.
Okay, awesome. And you have a free trial on
Yep.
Merch Informer.
Yeah, it's 3
It's
days. Anyone can sign up for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in trying out Merch Informer, I have a link in the description. You can try out the 3-day free trial, and you have tutorial videos on the main homepage as well to help you with getting started with the software. Correct?
Correct. They're not. Pretty much every module has a video, except for I think like the product search, the merchant search, but those are very straightforward. You just enter something, hit go.
Okay. And also, for those of you who are wanting the blog post about the SEO, Auret has put that in the chat. You guys can click to it from there. Also, S1 was asking another question. Can you please elaborate on using merch for a Shopify store? It seems like this approach is possibly taking your merch sales to the next level. You have to say about
Okay.
that?
Shopify integrated with Amazon a few months ago, and I wrote a guide on that went viral. It's not, you don't connect Shopify through your Merch by Amazon login. There's completely different. You connect Shopify with Seller Central, which is where we sell products on Amazon, like for FBA. In order to make it work, you need to pay for a Seller Central account. You need to have a pro account, so that's $40 a month if you're in the US. And then Shopify has a trial, and then once the trial's done, it's $9 a month. So if you're willing to pay for those, you can take your designs. So I have like over 1,000 designs, right? I can take each one of those designs in any print-on-demand service that hooks up with Shopify. Since Shopify hooks up with Amazon, I can sell any of those products, right? So in the example that I wrote up, we use T-Launch, and T-Launch has like something like 40 different products. So I can take those 1,000 designs, take one design and put on 40 products, and then upload those to Amazon. Like the process, it takes a while. I'm still not done, but it takes a long time. But then you can have your designs on mugs, sweatshirts, curtains, posters.
Curtains.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can take one design and turn it into 40 products fairly quickly if you stay dedicated to it. So it just opens up that many more channels for something you already paid for. I mean, you already paid for the design. You might as well sell it on as many things as you can. So
Okay.
that being said, we did include a bunch of the categories that we're currently selling on into Merch Informer as soon as that launched.
Awesome. And Richard is asking, can we have more than one AWS account without violating Amazon's terms of service?
Yes, yeah, they're all free. You can sign up as many times as you want. I have like 4 or 5 for testing purposes. You're also going to need an Amazon affiliate account because we use the AWS keys and then the Amazon affiliate ID. Those work together. And that's kind of how Merch Informer talks to Amazon for some of the specific modules.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Eswin's asking, how much is the software, Merch Informer? It sounds like it will take the guesswork out of the whole process. More strategy, less speculation.
It's $9.99 a month. That is going to change once we come out of beta. It's going to be raised. Not really sure why. I am sure why. I'm not really sure what it's going to be at. Sorry, misspoke there. Anyone who signs up before that is going to be locked in. We're not going to raise the price on you. But I mean, that is the entire reason we built it. I don't want to sit there and guess all day if something is, are there people in that niche who are interested in buying my product? I don't want to sit there all day and type in, squirrel t-shirt and go through 80 results of squirrel t-shirts. I want to know then and there, is that something I should go into? Is it going to be
Which
profitable?
squirrel shirt is gonna sell? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it saves a bunch of time.
So when is the price gonna go up so people know if to get in there before that?
Once we come out of beta, which I don't really want to give an exact date because I don't know. We're slowed down on a specific portion that we're working on right now. But I would
Okay.
say a month or two, somewhere around
Okay.
there.
Well, if you guys are interested, do not wait. Otherwise, the price will go up. Yeah, I mean $9.99 a
We
month, and
wanted,
there's
Yeah, we want to make it cheap enough where, I mean, if you can sell 2 shirts, that'll pay for it. We want to make it cheap enough for everyone to access because it's helpful. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone needs as much help as they need to get going.
And because if it's hard for you to think of ideas, I think that this would be beneficial for you, because for us, it wasn't hard to think of ideas out of the air. Like I don't know, it just wasn't hard for us. But I know that there's a lot of people who need help in this area, who need and who are more want to be more strategic, and they want to, like the person said, they want to take the guesswork out and just have more strategy. So I think that Merch Informer will really help them.
There was I just scrolled up and
Yeah.
noticed Next Level asked a question about the trademark module. We
Oh,
do
okay.
we do plan on raising the limit from 100 after we come out of beta, because there's a few things we need to work in the back end to like introduce like a tier level for those. But that's coming because I know that's important. I know some of us have a lot more than 100 phrases. So what the trademark module does is every day it's going to look at the USPTO database and say, is this phrase trademarked today? If it's
Mm.
not, then it'll be green. If it is, we're going to throw a warning at you. So basically, you can go in and take that shirt down preemptively. Even if you were, had your shirt up first, Amazon doesn't care. They're going to take your shirt down and put a strike on your account. So we want to keep people's accounts safe as possible.
Okay. Cool. And let me see here if there's any more questions. Sorry, which one? I apparently skipped one of them. Hold on. Any more questions, guys, in the live chat? Now's your chance.
Elaborate on using merch for Shopify store.
I think we got that one. Okay. Do you have any other final thoughts, Neil?
Hello? Did you just flag out?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You just like froze for a second there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're just seeing if there's any last minute questions, and if you had any like final thoughts for people or advice. What's the most common question you get?
I get a lot of questions. I don't know what the most common is, but I would say if you already have designs, then you should be using as many different print-on-demand services as possible, especially those that integrate with Amazon. So the Merch by Amazon, Shopify and Amazon, and then just recently Teespring. I've got a lot of questions about Teespring lately. They're like, should I take my same design and put it on Teespring t-shirts? And I'm like, yes, because I have one design on Anvil shirts. That's the main shirt I put on Amazon. But for Teespring, they're totally different. Even though the design's the same, the quality of the t-shirt and the price is going to be different. And even though I have all my designs up on merch, I'm starting to put them up on Teespring on t-shirts as well, and the t-shirts are selling at a higher price point. So just get as much, saturation of the market with your designs as possible.
Cool. Okay, and then we got a question here from Kareen. How do you sign up? Basically, you go to Google and type in Merch by Amazon, and it's a quick sign up process. You need to be approved. Don't know what the wait time is right now. Probably a couple months.
I'm hearing a few weeks.
Weeks now.
For some people. Yeah. So sign up now, and
Yeah.
then if you're lucky, a few weeks. I mean, I definitely
Yeah,
I have a
lucky.
Merch by Amazon subreddit that I run. Run is a loose term, but I have control over that. And some people are reporting as little as like 2 weeks getting accepted.
Wow, that's awesome. Like waiting is like the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, especially when you see everyone else like diving in, you're like, I want part of that.
Well, that's what was happening was we signed up, and then in that group with Chris Green, there was just like people posting their sales and just killing it, and then I'm not approved yet, and it's just like I was dying. But even though you're not approved, get on the other print on demand sites.
Yeah,
like
there's nothing
Redbubble.
stopping you. Like
Yeah.
you can make designs, you can upload to Teespring, you can upload to the Shopify. Like if you want to do this business, you can start today.
Hmm.
There's no need to wait.
Awesome. Okay, we're coming up on the hour here. Let's see. Oh, there's 4 more questions. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Okay, Neil, what is your favorite Merch Informer features?
Probably the favorites module that we have, which basically, if you're going through and you find a bunch of designs you like, you can easily add them to like a tree. You can make a tree of different categories and place different designs and download a bunch of the different features. So, download the images, download the links, the bullet points, everything. So that's super easy for me to throw them in there. The ones I like, send them to designers and let them do their thing. And then the trademark alerts, where we monitor trademarks, I think is huge for keeping people safe because people are super confused about trademarks and
Yeah.
copyrights.
Yeah, it
A
really
lot,
is.
a lot of people. I mean, 2 months ago, maybe the Facebook groups were just full of posts of people getting banned. So we're trying to protect you against that.
Yeah. It can be scary. Like, I mean, when you've got your business up to a certain point and then, you get a trademark thing and then your account gets shut down. Like during Christmas time when they were shutting down a bunch of accounts. We were all paranoid when that was happening.
Yeah, and that lasted for like a few months too. Everyone's freaking out.
Yeah. Well, it could just be taken away just like that.
And apparently they don't really give you like any explanation. I've had a few takedowns myself, and this has been taken down. They don't tell you why. I mean, you have to email
Yeah,
them
I
to
know.
get
You
why.
gotta guess.
It's a guessing game, yeah. So if you have a trademark, see, the reason we made that module is that you might use a phrase today and it sells great, and then 6 7 months down the line someone decides they're going to trademark it, right? And you have no idea because you have 100+ designs up.
Yeah.
And if they trademark it and it goes through, they can take your original design down and you have a strike on your account that you can't do anything about.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I had a question. I was using Merch Informer last night. And okay, so when you're searching and you see the grade A, right? That is supposed to mean that that's good for listing because there's not as much competition. How do you decide that it's the letter A or letter B, or how
Oh,
much?
it's based on how many merch shirts specifically are selling or ranked rather with that specific like title. So if you're up against 10,000 other shirts, we're going to give you an F score because
Okay.
why would you want to compete against 10,000 people? You might get seen. I mean, you might not. You probably
Mm-hmm.
won't. But yeah, if you find an A, the next thing you need to do is make sure that there is consistent demand in that niche. So if you ever come across an A with a specific keyword, throw that into the product finder and see if there's a few shirts actually selling units each and every month.
Yeah, that's what I was trying out last night. We actually had one of our meetings, and so we were typed in a keyword, and then we see the letter A. Then we did the product search, and we determined, okay, it has a BSR rank that we like. It has average monthly sales, and we checked out the designs, and we're like, oh, we can create one that's better. So then that's when we decide we're going to create this shirt. That's
Perfect. Yep.
basically what we did. So that's how you use it?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I've been using it. The one thing you might want to look into, might not, is sometimes if one shirt gets like 10 sales, right, it's going to spike up in BSR for a day or two, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to start dropping. Um, you might, if you find a niche you like that only has 1 or 2 shirts selling, I mean, I might personally skip that, but you might decide, oh, okay, that might be a good niche. Just monitor it for a few days. So like 2 3 days later, look for the same thing or add it to your favorites and take a look at that design, because if it's consistently selling, the BSR is going to like stay in a consistent range. But if it's sold once and spiked it up, and then it doesn't sell again for another month, it's going to drop like pretty
Mm-hmm.
quickly. So you might want to monitor that if there's not too much demand in a niche.
Okay. Okay, but what I just explained is basically how you would use it.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, got a bunch more questions. So are there any other softwares other than Merch Informer that do what you do?
That do specifically what we do? No, not that I know of. I know there's quite a few Chrome plugins, but none of them seem to do exactly what we do.
Yeah,
So
I don't
no.
know of any other ones. I have like a Chrome plugin that says like the BSR, but nothing with the search. I mean, there's like the merch research, but that doesn't do what you do.
No, no. And then one more thing to mention, though, I guess, is that with the BSR, I mean, there are plenty of plugins that show that, but Amazon doesn't always. So let's say you typed in bunny shirt, right? Uh, you might find on the third page there is a shirt that has a way lower BSR than on the first page, and that might be because that specific shirt has the word bunny shirt in it, but it's actually ranking for a variation. It might be ranking for like rabbit shirt or Easter shirt or something like that. So they're not in order, and we rank them in order because that's what I want to see. I want to see the best selling shirt that's even any bit relevant to the seed keyword you enter.
That is super helpful. Okay, so someone just came new into the video here. The software is to help for which items are popular, and yeah, it's defined it's to help you find what's selling, and you want to basically go for stuff that's selling without much competition, correct?
Yeah,
That's just to help you.
it's for finding what people are looking for because we want to create products. I mean, you could create the best product in the world, but if no one is even searching for it or interested in that specific niche, you're not going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically created it to help people find what's in demand. And if you find a niche that's in demand, then you can serve that niche with your products.
Cool. Okay, and Jacob's asking, does Neil have any Merch Informer merchandise for us super fans that can buy and wear to conferences?
No.
Not
Might have to create one just for him.
yeah. Not yet. Okay, and does Merch Informer have access to users' activities on the site? Also, how many people are using Merch Informer right now?
Do we have any access to your activities? No, we don't, because that would be bad business. And quite a few people are using Rich Informer. We are in the thousands, so it's
And
growing
does it
quickly.
like, if there's more people on it, does that mean like, is that good or bad? Like, does that mean there's more competition, or you think there's
I
enough
don't think
ideas
so.
to go around?
As I said, Amazon has 2 billion people on it a month.
Yeah.
Like if anyone tells you Amazon's saturated, I think they're wrong. There's so much room. I mean, if you can't sell a single shirt to 2 billion people, like something's wrong. So
That's a good way of putting it. That is
yeah,
a good
there's
way.
yeah, I don't think that's a problem at all. There's always going to be niches out there which people can serve. Like even if we go into the same niche, right? You might come out with a better product than me, which means you're going to sell better than I am. It's just finding the
Yeah.
niches and serving that particular audience as best as you can.
Well, and there's like a billion ideas. Like there's so many that I don't think there's gonna ever run out of stuff to sell like on t-shirts. There's new things being created all the time.
And
So
as you
I don't.
and yeah, like ideas are a dime a dozen, right? It's about the execution of those
Yeah.
ideas.
Yep. I agree. Do we have any more questions, Ari?
Just the very last one I sent you.
Very last one. Okay. So we'll do this as the last questions. Okay. Let's see here. Do you have to have a business name when you're doing merch by Amazon? Like, do you need to be a business?
No, you can sign up just as yourself, sole proprietorship. And I
And
had someone ask me the other day, actually, on my website. that's not going to be displayed on Amazon. So even if you sign up with your real name, which you have to, so you can get paid, no one on Amazon that's going to see your products is ever going to see that.
They won't even know it's you. Like
Exactly.
no one knows
You make up
selling
the
what.
brand name, the bullet points. Your name isn't involved really.
Yeah, your profile picture. There's no profile picture or anything. Like no one knows who they're buying shirts from, which is cool. And what do you think about, or have you heard of wordcandy.io?
I have heard of it. What do I think about it? No
What
thoughts
is
really.
what is it? I don't know what it is.
It is an app, I believe, that does almost the exact same thing as our keyword tool. Not exactly. It pulls Amazon auto-suggest keywords. I mean, I've
Okay.
only seen, since I am competition, I don't think they exactly want me in their Facebook groups, so I haven't been able to join them. That's about all I know about it. Yeah. It launched a few days ago, but no one has talked to me about it.
Well, you guys do your research, obviously.
It's expensive, like $700 a year. Apparently.
Okay, that is a huge difference. That is a very huge difference. Okay, so we're getting a lot of thank yous from everyone. They're saying it's super helpful.
Good.
That's really cool. Okay, so
hey, one more thing. If anyone wants to know anything else, specifically guides, please let me know because I'm looking for ideas of things to write about.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let Neil know or put it down in the comments. Let him know what to write about that you guys want to know about. And I think that is about it. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Neil, for being on. Me. Really appreciate it. As I said, we're getting more into Merch Informer. We literally just started like this week. We are doing a case study as well to see how it will increase our sales. And we are switching over completely. So before our ideas, like how we thought of ideas, were in the air basically, and on Instagram and that type of thing. And so we're switching over to Merch Informer and doing research only, and then creating the designs and then putting them up and then doing the keywords and titling based off of what we see. And then I'm going to do like a whole video and how it goes and experiment and stuff like that.
Awesome. I think you'll see some good success with that.
Yeah, no, we got a taste of the money and we want more.
Perfect.
We definitely want more sales. All right, well, thank you so much. Again, if you guys have any more questions that we weren't able to answer, put them in the comment section below. I'm sure Neil will come back and answer them for you guys.
Perfect, thanks.
Any last words?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.